we're going to talk to a couple of our members, and I'd like to welcome on Dave Fallon from Emmas.ie and Ruth and Killian from Cogs, the brain shop.ie. So welcome, guys.
Hi.
Hi, folks.
Hey, guys.
How are you doing? Just tell me a bit about Emmas there, Dave, and a quick introduction to yourself.
Okay, so Emmas.ie is our website. Our brand is Emma's So Naturals, and we make clean, natural, eco soy candles. We're ethos driven. We have added oils for diffusers, soaps, and we've for about 10 years actually sold some eco products as well, but which are all finally going mainstream, which is great. That's where we wanted to be. We wanted to change the world. So yeah, we've had our best year ever online. We were very well prepared, I think. So we didn't actually have to change an awful lot after COVID, etc., kicked in. And the one thing we did do, I would say, is we upgraded our photography, which I noticed Muriel mentioned there as well. So, and that's us. Great.
Well, thanks for joining us. Ruth and Killian, how are you?
Good, thanks. Good. Hi, everyone.
Good. Thanks for coming. Tell us a bit about Cogs.
So Cogs is a family-run toy and game and board shop. We have a physical shop in St. Stephen's Green Shopping Centre, and we're also online. And our games and toys all kind of have an educational benefit. So I'm actually a primary school teacher myself, and along with my brother Connor, we set up the shop in 2013, kind of as to offer parents, I suppose, another option for their kids, and kind of move away from screens and things like that, and kind of offer quality, fun, engaging products that weren't available in Ireland at the time.
Yeah, I know. Cogs did a video with us, so it's available on the eCAI website. I'd recommend you to have a look at it. That's what we do. We talk to our members, trying to get them involved and really get, what's going on the ground, so that, it's all about the community. So I'm just going to ask you a few questions about your experience the last year, just to find out what's been going on. So I'm going to start with you, Dave. What's Irish public support meant for your brand?
Without Irish people supporting Irish and supporting local, we wouldn't be here now. The last year was very difficult. And yeah, from an export perspective, which we did a small amount, that completely died, and retail pretty much completely died. And people did transfer back to online. But I think we were lucky that we had 10 years branding and developing relationships with customers. And the challenge for the future is to actually get that same engagement, but in an online capacity.
Brilliant. And how about yourself, Ruth and Killian? How's our support?
It has been absolutely phenomenal. It's kept the business afloat, but not only that, it has enabled us to employ more staff. And in turn, because people want to support Irish so much more now, and they're so much more conscious about buying Irish products, we have actually been able to take on more Irish suppliers, which has been huge for us. And we've also been able to commission Irish-made games that we didn't have before from a company in Kerry. So it hasn't just benefited us and our staff, but it has reached out to other places in Ireland who are benefiting, because people are just so much more conscious of wanting to support Irish and support their local community, and it's been fantastic.
I think it's a huge drive on social media, and then Ruth from the social media side, but there's a huge number of influencers and the likes of in journalism as well, the likes of Conor Pope, and a few of these have been hugely helpful and have really showcased Irish websites. And there's been a lot of groups online as well, which have really driven traffic towards us and encouraged people to support Irish, which has been huge for us, and we're very grateful for that.
Yeah. Look, that's very positive. So there's a real effect, and it's really affecting the businesses, in real time. So what changes has COVID and Brexit made to your business? What changes have you guys made as a result of COVID?
I suppose COVID hugely, anyway, especially prior to COVID, we were predominantly a bricks and mortar shop. But I suppose the online was a bit of a side. The online has been there for 7 years, but it was a very small percentage of the business. And then once COVID struck, and in March of last year, once we had to close down, overnight we had to look, and really, all our business had to switch to online straight away. So first of all, we had to see, like previously we have a shop in town which has a significant footfall, but online we've all these customers, but how do we actually reach these customers? So the first step was trying to reach customers online. So we had to scale our digital marketing. Then once we actually started to acquire traffic on the site, we realized that our infrastructure wasn't up to a standard. So we had to look at our hosting and that sort of thing, because our website was actually crashing once the volumes of customers went up. And that was something we hadn't thought about before. After that, then as well, I suppose we had to scale up significantly. So we were doing a number of X amount of orders a day. Then we had to go up and do 10 times that, you know. So while we were able to be inefficient at a small scale, once you become inefficient at a large scale, it becomes chaotic, and actually you can't fulfill your orders. It's just, there's a cap on it, you know.
Yeah, actually, in October, because we didn't have the systems in place, and we were getting all these orders in, we actually had to turn off Google AdWords and kind of take a step back and put efficient systems in place to fulfill these orders. Because what was happening was orders were going out, they were being fulfilled with the wrong products, they weren't being packaged properly, things were arriving damaged, and the amount of extra work that created, just it all spiraled. So I think that COVID has actually been a huge positive in that it's been such a learning curve for us. And we really have to up our game and look at the way that we're fulfilling orders. As well as that, it's made us really take a step back and look at our costs. So previously, you'd have someone employed in the shop. So you'd have your rent for the shop, and you'd have your staff member in the shop. Someone would come in, they'd buy something, and the packaging was just putting the product in a bag. Once you're selling online, it's so much more expensive. And that was hugely eye-opening for me. The costs involved in selling online are huge compared to selling in the shop. And that is something we did not have our eye on the ball at all until kind of just before Christmas. I'm talking about, packaging costs. I'm talking about postage costs, acquiring your actual customers through digital marketing and AdWords. Like even to get people to sign up, everybody wants kind of an initial kind of sign up discount. So you're immediately offering 10% off. Then by the time you pay your AdWords, your packaging, your postage costs, offering free delivery over €40. Huge amount of our sales weren't actually costing us money in the beginning. And then also with staff training as well. It's like some staff are brilliant, but then people who aren't suitable for it or who aren't trained properly, it could take them 30 minutes to fulfill an order.
Yeah, it's not as easy just getting a website and banging it up there, because, well, something, I can't confirm this, but a lot of people told us that after the toy show, there was an awful lot of crashes, that nearly half the websites in Ireland crashed because they weren't prepared, and nobody's talking about this. Everybody's talking about, the most obvious things. And that's why you need to have a community helping each other and stuff like that, And Dave, how about yourself? I'm going to ask you, like, what are the challenges that Irish retailers are going to face, this year?
I think there's going to be a lot of challenges, even as the market opens back up. And I think the best way to look at it is to pillar the challenges. One is, for us, it would be raw materials coming in. There's a lot of governance and VAT issues that are appearing there. And then even with goods going out, especially if you're exporting. And the Irish market it's a certain size, and if you want to grow, we need to look at exports, all of us as well. From an export perspective, there's governance and VAT changes coming down the line. There are some benefits, though, in relation to what the European Union is doing with changing the VAT rules. and you'll be able to do all your reporting come the 1st of July for online sales abroad. So if you're selling business to consumer and business to business, and it'll all be packaged up, and you'll be able to report it as a opt-in section in your VAT report. So that will help to streamline what's been a huge problem for a couple of years, and has stopped a lot of people from working with the likes of Amazon, etc., third-party sellers, but realistically, we want to drive people directly to our own site. And for us, retailers are still going to be a large part of our business model, and we want to support them as well. So we always have to keep that in mind. We do have a wholesale and distribution side to the business.
Like literally, you can see it on the shelves in the supermarkets. There's things that weren't there before. I know Percy Pigs and Marks and Spencer's is having problems, but like, yeah, no, that's real time. Dave, I want to actually delve deeper into that with you, because you're a great mind in terms of these type of things. So we'll try and release something in the coming weeks about VAT, and maybe do something further into that, because it's what people, it's not all the showbiz of e-commerce. There's these things that are really affecting, like PSD2 last year. Nobody was talking about it. It's crazy, it could have shut everybody down, and we got to talk more about them. Just quickly, because I got to keep to the time. So you're both in ClickIrish. You know what it's about. So what would you like to see happening with ClickIrish going forward? What do you want to see most, Dave?
So with ClickIrish, I think the most important thing is the strength of numbers as a group. Small to medium enterprises in Ireland actually employ over 1.06 million people. So in comparison to foreign direct investment, we're absolutely massive, but we tend not to work together. So if we work together, we advocate for each other. I see Muriel even stated it there in relation to social media. It's, don't have 10,000 followers and be following 5, support others. That works across the board. It helps with the strength of advocacy when working with and helping government to create the grant systems that are needed. And while they do a lot of work, I personally feel a lot of that cash that's spent lands on wasted ground when there's other issues where they could be helping to drive, but they don't get the advocacy, they don't get the information. So as a group, I think the eCAI and ClickIrish can work together and feed in, fill in the surveys, be honest, pick up the phone and let us know, kind of thing. And then also working together, maybe to create some collaborations as well. We will all have different business models, and we can learn from others. So don't be afraid just because you're in the candle business, you're just going to be lumped with 5 other candle sellers. You can learn from people who have distribution business, and you can learn from people who have to run a shop, for instance, which we don't do, and we don't understand bricks and mortar stores. Well, I'd have a bit of a background in there, but as a company, we don't do that. So yeah, collaboration, advocacy, and just I suppose ideas. The more ideas we can bring to the table, we can create recombinant solutions for the future. And the big part, I think, is what eCAI or how eCAI can help Irish businesses get into the export market. We have a small market here. In the grand scheme of Europe, we're not seen as important at all. And we are on an island. You have to know that and start from that position. And there's difficulties, Brexit, COVID, VAT, governance, everything that are there, and you can only get over that working together. Because swimming on your own in that pond is very, very difficult to get growth or to establish customers.
Yeah, you're dead right. It's about numbers. It's like we've actually opened up to all the other associations, and we said, look, come on, sit in our board. Now we're still working on that, but we got to cooperate, because the reason the big guys are big is numbers, as you say. So your competitor is no longer down the road. Your competitor is Europe, you know, and we've a lot more to gain there than they do here. So that's where we want to go.
All that said, there's also, you know, the theory of marginal gains. And one of the easiest marginal gains that we can affect is the spend within Ireland that leaves Ireland, literally keeping money in the country.
Yeah.
And finding out where that's actually going to. An organization like eCAI could help us better direct what gaps we need to fill in the market ourselves. You know, why is our customer buying a product like mine from Germany, you know, or buying it on a third party marketplace instead of spending the money with me. One of those loopholes is actually being blocked off in July as well, where orders under 22 euros coming in from China, etc., or any country outside the EU will actually be subject to the same VAT rules as ourselves now. So we've always been 20% dearer, always. So that's why you find you can't compete with your Wishes and your Amazon sellers. So those guys are now going to be brought onto a more level playing field as well from VAT rules. So there are benefits coming along there. It's just how we capitalize on them. But quick win, figure out how to keep the money that's going abroad, 7 billion a year or something, I think you mentioned to me, Niall, back into in this country, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So many decisions in Europe too that are affecting us. They can get products here cheaper. We need to level that playing field as well. So we're working with other countries in Europe, small countries that are having the same, and we're working with them to try and lobby to make sure that it's an even playing field when it comes to selling. It should be like our mobile phones in Europe. So thank you, Dave. Sorry, I'm pushed for time. I need to get back on track. So Ruth and Killian, just quickly again, what would you guys like to see ClickIrish do going forward? Like, this is yours, so we need to hear from you, you know.
Even just this, I feel so energized after hearing from Dave and hearing from Muriel. Like, I feel like I've learned so much. This peer-to-peer learning is fantastic. Sometimes when you are, especially now when it's all online, you don't get anyone else's expertise, and sometimes you can kind of be in a bubble. So even just these meetups and talks I find them absolutely fantastic, especially when all this kind of online stuff is so new at the moment for us in particular.
Yeah.
Like I really have learned so much just in this. And I suppose going forward, maybe that we can kind of set standards so people know what ClickIrish means. What do we represent? Is it like really like 2-day, 3-day delivery times? Is it a quality assurance? Is it maybe more accessibility to a shop or a brand than, say, for example, buying from Amazon? Like, maybe if we have kind of some set standards that we represent for the customer, I think that could be great.
Yeah, I think that's the concern of a lot of customers when they see a brand that they're not familiar with. They're not sure, will that company have a returns policy, or, you know, what happens when I spend, will my order actually turn up, you know? But I suppose maybe if ClickIrish meant that there's and people were familiar with the ClickIrish logo on websites, they'd say, right, well, at least I know that that's part of that group and there's standards. So it would probably grow the customer's confidence in that, you know.
And even I suppose just kind of a bit of lobbying, even getting out to the media, what their kind of money spent actually means. Like, you know, it says, it means like however million to the economy. What does that actually mean? It means that when your child is in 4th year and they want to do work experience, they're not going to an Amazon fulfillment center to do it. You know, that this is so much more than just you know, this affects the whole of society. You know, and what kind of society your kids are going to grow up in, and what's going to be there if you want to go into town. Like, what's going to be there? Is it just going to be all coffee shops? Coffee shops are great, but, you know, towns and villages need retail.
Yeah, exactly. Guys, I just want to answer that very quickly. Like, what we are doing is we are going to start councils. So we're inviting our members to join councils, and they'll be the voice and tell us what direction to go. So we're inviting any member to join that. And you're right about the standards. The ClickIrish has to be about standards, and using that badge has to be standards. Now, we don't want to keep people out that are still learning. You know, we want to encourage them. So you're going to hear from me later on about all those things that we're going to do. But look, I really want to thank you for joining us here today. Okay. So to understand what ClickIrish is, why we're doing it, let's first have a look at the shopper's journey when they're buying online. So shoppers are often faced 20 minutes searching for products, searching on search engines. And frankly, the first 5 pages are filled with foreign, huge retailers, marketplaces. They often spend 70,000 plus a month on search engine placement alone. So it can be a very frustrating process. You may be directed to a mega site or marketplace abroad. It's probably masquerading as an Irish website. They use the .ie domain, put up an Irish flag, and pretend they're based here, basically. Once you do find a product, even in Ireland, you have the laborious task of putting all that information in, your address, your billing information, again and again. So after a while, it just becomes easier. The shopper gives up, and they go find somewhere where they know they're going to get everything they want. It's going to be quick and all that kind of stuff. So that's the basis of what we're looking at. 10,000 businesses have pivoted online since the start of COVID. So the choice is here in Ireland now, but it's all over the place, and people don't even know that they're there. So that's where we started from. That's where we started our journey about bringing people together. If somebody has a bad experience on a website, regardless of it's yours, what that's doing is it's pushing the user away. They're going to go find themselves somewhere where they can get the choice and the experience that they want. And even if the bad experience isn't on your site, it's still affecting you. That's why we got to work together. It's pushing shoppers away, and they're very, very hard to get back. 60% of our online trade is going abroad right now. It's crazy. You know, we expect e-commerce to be worth 30% of all retail by 2030. So this trend has to stop. We have to offer them an alternative to what they're currently doing. Give them what they want, and actually more. So ClickIrish is a campaign, yes, but it's a strategy. It's a collective strategy to give shoppers what they want. And in turn, we're going to educate, pool resources, promote, and most importantly, compete to what's already out there. That's our strategy, because it's hard to do it by yourself. You've heard from the other retailers, you know, there's easier ways to doing this together. So before you ask, we're not anti-Amazon. In fact, Amazon, eBay, Etsy, they're brilliant. I love shopping them. They're absolute pinnacle of service, choice, and convenience that's out there. That's why they're the best. This is where we want to be. This is what we're trying to do. Irish sellers on marketplaces are as welcome to join ClickIrish and display our badge as anybody else. We're not here to tell you you're bad or unpatriotic. We're just here to compete and give an alternative once you're genuinely located in Ireland. So how do we strategically compete? To compete, first, we need to look at why people are shopping abroad: choice, convenience, and service. We use this as the blueprint to the solution. Okay, so they go abroad for choice, convenience, service. So we tackle these head on. So tackling choice, well, we've already started it. We get everybody together. You know, as we say, the choice is out there. It's not like 10 years ago where UK was a lot more advanced and people found that the product was available there, and it is now. Not anymore. It's available here. So we put people together on a directory, and we've got 600 shops joining us since late November. It's phenomenal. It's an absolute phenomenal. So we want to really ramp that up and bring the community together. To give them real choice, though, having that at the moment, it's just a directory of shops. You know, it was a start to see if it was needed. We're a voluntary body, and we do this all ourselves. But the next stage to give it real power is to put up products. If we can put up products, we have a real alternative and a real tool to drive traffic to your websites. So this is next. If you say so, we will be sending out a voting mechanism in the coming weeks, and we'll be asking you to your opinion on it. So how we do this, we're going to give you a line of code, and the code goes into the header of your website. So you can get your developer to put this up really, really easily. And that code will automatically populate the platform. And not only that, if you update on your own website, it'll update on our platform. So it means that you don't have to put all your products in. So you've already got it done. Make it really simple for you, and really giving shoppers a real tool to buy from you. We will then refer the sales over to your website. This will take care of the choice. So inconvenience, buying from Ireland is convenient. We have got to promote this, and we got to really shout about this. It's easier to return. We have a lower carbon footprint when you buy locally, but the website needs to be easy too. We have to give them a comparable experience they're getting elsewhere in order to compete. So maybe let's give them a single sign-in, a single cart, an app that gives them loyalty points and special offers. We'll refer them to your website. You make the sale. It's all about ease of use and doing this together, so the shopper rightly associates ClickIrish with quality. And service. Again, Ireland has service. We need to collectively promote it again. There's someone real there. Someone with real knowledge, as Ruth is saying. She's a teacher and knows her product. In many cases, there's physical place to bring it back. So we already have it, and these are the things that it's hard for the bigger marketplaces to compete with. So we need to really shout about this, but it has to be universal. Therefore, we're going to be providing training, a lot more seminars like this. We're going to be taking in some really great people from around the world. And also, we're really delighted to announce that we've just teamed up with TU Dublin. So with their students, and we're going to be developing content, research, and training going forward. So this is something we're really excited about, and we're opening this up to other universities too. So choice, convenience, service, this is how we do it. You take away these reasons and people just don't have to shop abroad anymore. It's as simple as that. So currently we are just finishing testing on our own peer-to-peer network platform. It's a lot like LinkedIn. Right now you can come on and you're connected to every other ClickIrish retailer that we have. So you've got a wall on that, and you can post, share, write content, get recommendations from other sellers, people that have been there where you are. It's the best recommendations you can get. You can apply for a free mentor, volunteer yourself, because this is all about a sharing community, sharing knowledge, and it's free for retailers. We run a pay-if-you-can policy throughout COVID to support you. So services, if you're a dev and that, you can join too for a modest fee, and it's all there right now. So you can go on to ClickIrish.ie and do that. So this is all about doing it together. If we all do it together, we've got some serious power. We promote you, drive traffic through you, but we need you to interact, because the platform is smart and it's point-based. So it's going to see the more that you interact, and you go up the ranking in the directory as a result. So we ask you to retweet and share on social. So please join in. Please wear the badge. That's our hashtag when you're doing posts. We'd really appreciate it if you're a member, even if you're not a member. And please like and reshare. So this is ClickIrish. Got to say, this is yours. It's yours. We're volunteers. We fully run by volunteers. We don't have any commercial interest in it. Everybody wants to own e-commerce right now, but we're cooperative. We're actually opening it up because a lot of people are doing e-commerce on the side, and we felt it had to be a dedicated subject. So we're opening it up to other organizations. Come on in, get involved. We just want to make sure that the community owns e-commerce here in Ireland and directs it. So let's make Irish shopping synonymous with quality. ClickIrish, it's not just a badge. So thank you. Members will be sent to vote on proposals. So if you're not a member, you're free to join ClickIrish.ie. Our only focus is to bring e-commerce together. So look, thank you all for being here. I'm going to get you back on to Chris. I know you're all waiting to see him. So thank you for your time here. And you can connect with us anytime, any of these areas, and we'll answer your questions. And we want to know about you and we want to promote you. So please get involved. Thank you very much.